Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Richman, one half of Two Doctors Tell the Truth, with my comrade and friend and fellow surgeon, Dr. Fiorillo. And today we're going to be talking about 6 supplements, or whatever you want to call them, botanicals, that have been shown to be liver toxic. So with that, I'm going to open it up for Dr. Fiorillo to tell you a little bit about what we're talking about.
So I found this article over the weekend. I sent it over to Mike. If we can get the article up, would be great. And this was in JAMA. If you don't know what that is, it's well-respected journal. And this was just at the end of last year, so 2024. And it goes great with our last short that we did. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but we did a quick little short on all the supplements I have in my house. And I do have many. And it's funny, even being a surgeon and doctor, I drink some of the Kool-Aid, and I have so many supplements here. So we went through them. If you didn't see it, you can probably dig it up. But one of the things we didn't discuss, because we were just going through if it works or not. Dr. Richman was saying, yeah, it works, doesn't work, don't take it. But there's a legitimate paper now that shows 6 specific ones. We'll go through them quickly. But the biggest point is that they're liver toxic. They can cause toxicity to your liver. And I've seen this. I've seen this on patients I do pre-op stuff on, pre-op blood work, and their LFTs are elevated. And then when I dive deeper, I'll take it ashwagandha. And I didn't think to tell you that because it's an herb. You wrote medicines here. I'm like, why don't you go through that, the difference between medicines, herbs, and talk about up
I
here.
just want to make just a few. When we're talking about liver toxicity, we're talking about the potential for toxic liver, putting somebody in the hospital, causing liver failure, and maybe even resulting in liver transplantation. So we're just not talking about a little bump in your liver enzymes, because lots of things do that. But I just want to make a comment, and then I'll let Mike talk for a sec about the nutraceutical, botanical, whatever you want to call it, industry in the United States. If you combine all that together in 2023, it was $150 billion industry.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And as Mike and I were talking, people seem to want to take this stuff, well, don't want to take prescription medicines. And don't you find it just crazy? Like,
People love to hate on Big Pharma. It's a scam or all this stuff and about bad it is. But they'll take something they see on a TikTok because, hey, I'm depressed. So you know what? Why don't you take take ashwagandha or green tea extract? Or, hey, don't take statins. Statins are bad. So take red yeast rice. Yeah, this is a very important topic. And I'm guilty myself of taking a lot of supplements that I don't know where they're made, who studied them, where's the study, what's the right dose. Wrong dose. If you take the wrong dose of Tylenol, you can die. We talked about that earlier, right? How many people die every year of Tylenol poisoning?
I think unintentional 500, that
5,000.
doesn't, is it 5,000?
5,000.
Wow. I didn't realize that. I thought, yeah, if that combines suicide, I'm not sure, but an extensive amount. So Tylenol is extremely hepatotoxic, but we know that we're talking about botanical supplements, nutraceuticals, whatever you want to call them, that people take. This data in this paper is from the NAN study, which is NHANES, which has been going on since 1999. And it's a database, and it's either doctor reported or self-reported. And it's interesting because within these 6 supplements, over 15 million people have taken one of these 6 supplements in the last 30 days. And that's the equivalent of how many people take a non-steroidal like ibuprofen or Advil or whatever, Voltaren, within the last 30 days.
Common, right? Is as common as anyone taking Tylenol or aspirin or Regin, Motrin?
So a little bit about supplements, just so everybody understands. And this is the main point. So in 1994, the Dietary Supplement and Health Education Act was passed by Congress, which defines what a supplement is. So an amino acid, a peptide, a botanical, a nutraceutical, those are all non-prescription medicines, and they are not regulated. Mike and I are going to be talking about peptides and everything. But remember, none of this stuff is regulated. The good majority of it comes from China. In 2006, there was a whole scandal they found in prescription medicines that came from China, let alone supplements, high levels of lead and also melamine, which we make formica counters in it. You guys can all think that this stuff is great, but Mike and I were talking today about how many companies, like I think have even contacted him and they'll private label supplements. And then these guys, you see all these influencers like, oh yeah, my products, they're custom made by only the finest. They have no clue.
Everybody's selling a product. When you look online and social media, they're talking, especially the longevity world, they're all selling something.
And they
And
all say it's manufactured in their own facility.
yeah, so
So,
you know what? You can hate on Big Pharma all you want, but do you feel more comfortable that their drug has a 7 to 9 year investigation before it's approved? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Now, you want to say those studies are tainted or paid for? Listen, you know what? There's always going to be a conspiracy theory, but I'm more comfortable with Big Pharma taking 7 to 9 years to approve a drug than someone making it in someone's basement. You don't even know where it's made, what the products are. You don't know the dose and how much to take.
right? Premenopausal women. Next time you have your period cramps, don't take Midol, don't take ibuprofen. Those are pharmaceuticals. Next time you have a fever, everybody, don't take a non-steroidal, don't take Tylenol, or don't take an aspirin. So it's crazy how people pick and choose what they take, but yet then they go on to trash Big Pharma, but everybody's quick to pop a supplement. With that said, let's get into the meat of this article. I'm going to discuss 3, and Mike can discuss 3. You want to start? Talk about.
Yeah, we can start. So let's start with this one, black cohosh. So I never even heard of this, but supposedly it's a very big supplement out there. And it is an herb native to North America, and it's promoted as helping women through menopause. So right off the bat, listen, I have a wife that's menopausal, not perimenopausal, and it's tough. I feel bad for women going through this, the hot flashes and everything that comes with menopause. And you're clicking, you're on your reel, you're going through, and wow, take this black cohosh, and it's going to help with all your menopausal symptoms. They're not telling you, where is it studied? Show me the study. Where is it made? How much do I take? How do you know how much is in there? And it's liver toxic.
Yeah, and that's the big deal with all these. It's that when they have been studied, the amount of whatever it is inside any of them has ranged from 0 to 10 times the allowable dose, whatever that means. Let's make that clear. It's not just these 6 have been shown to be associated with hepatotoxicity or liver toxicity, but any single one of them you can take and you don't even know. You don't know if it's sterile, people who are doing peptide injections. How the hell do you know?
The problem here is you're going to have a woman that maybe is watching this and saying, hey, I take black cohosh and my hot flashes are way better or went away. Listen, maybe that's true. I don't know. But all I know is that we don't know the studies.
Right.
Show me a study of a couple thousand women that have taken it and that we can compare it and do a meta-analysis and show it works. What's the dose? How long do you take it for? Did you do liver enzymes to make sure it's not toxic? So
Yeah, don't you think, like you just said, don't you think, would you personally, if I was taking something that I knew was liver toxic, probably a month after I started taking it, I probably would have my liver enzymes checked. Would you?
yeah, I would 100%. And I see it. I see women with elevated LFTs all the time, and they're on herbs. So we're not hating on all the herbs. However, you have to know what you're taking, where it's made, and take it at your own risk. And I won't exceed the dose. There's really no dose. They'll say take it 2. That's the problem. Take 2 tablets. You know what the other thing too is? Take 2 tablets. What happens here of a 90-pound woman and a 220-pound woman? I
Exactly.
mean, you don't really know.
Okay, so number 2,
Go ahead.
you do number 2.
Oh, okay, I can do that. So ashwagandha. This is one I have heard of. So ashwagandha. Have you heard of that, Mike?
Yeah, I know that's in my people I know who are like herbologists and they take anything if it's plant-based. So
So
ashwagandha.
it's an evergreen shrub in Asia. And this is for stress, relax you and lower your blood pressure. And I'm getting stressed talking about it, but maybe
It's anti-anxiety too, don't they say that?
anxiety. Yeah, great. I would love to be able to take a plant herb and be chill and relax and lower my blood pressure. But once again, could be liver toxic.
Okay, third one,
The third one,
the Garcinia.
yeah, the Garcinia is another one that I don't know anything about. Garcinia. So Garcinia is also known as Malabar tamarind. It's a brindleberry native to Southeast Asia. So a lot of these are from Asia, which so we always knew. And this is helps in reducing appetite and weight loss. All those people that don't want to spend the money on GLP-1s or can't afford GLP-1s may look at this and say, I'm going to take this. I can't tell you much about it more than he did.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about 3 common ones and more in depth. So first one I'll mention is turmeric or
Humor, that one
or
everyone knows.
cumin. Okay, so lots of people take it. I'm going to specifically talk about the people who take it for osteoarthritis,
Yep.
of which it has never been shown to help in any study with osteoarthritis. There are a couple actually really well done studies. I'm not going to get into them, but with cognition, but it's a certain brand because the formulation does matter for absorption. But they have found that turmeric dose of the curcumin, which is the active ingredient in most of these supplements, range have a huge range, and it's one of the most common supplements taken. And there's definite hepatotoxicity in really high doses. Okay, so that's that. The second one, which I know all about, I've written a paper for it about it. And if any of you want to read it or for more information, because it's so popular, it's red yeast rice. It's on my Substack page. I can just tell you if you want to go read it, because it's much more extensive than we're going to talk about. It's Doc 4 Heart. So DOC, the number 4 Heart, HEART.substack.com. So red yeast rice is used as a cholesterol lowering drug, and it is the fermented product of red yeast, which is grown on rice, and it's called monocholine K. Monocholine K is the equivalent of lovastatin, which is the first statin made. So first of all, it's totally insane. Like, I can't tell you the number of people who come to me, nope, I'm not going to take a statin, but I'm taking red yeast rice. Mike and I have talked about it, and I look at them and I'm like, you're taking a totally unregulated statin under a different name, manufactured in China. And they're like, I am? And I'm like, yes. And then as soon as you tell them, they're like, I'll take a real one. I'm having no problems on the red yeast rice. That act that I told you about in 1994, here's what's also important about it is illegal in the United States to combine a drug that is commercially available into a nutraceutical under a different name, unless the product was available before the drug was. Okay, so it's illegal. So it was banned in the United States. Real red yeast rice, even though it was coming in, and it was coming in illegally from Canada, from Mexico, from Asia. But technically it's banned. However, when we've looked at it in the National Lipid Association, I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon, has looked at it, they have found up to 200 times a toxic dose in it to 0. So red yeast rice, yes, it lowers your cholesterol. Okay, real red yeast rice. However, even if you're taking a normal dose of red yeast rice, whatever that is, it's never been shown to reduce your deaths from heart attack or stroke or reduce events. So that's a key point that Mike and I always talk about. Just because something does something, just because a cancer drug may slow the progression-free survival, if it doesn't affect your overall survival and it's going to make you sick, is it worth taking? So that's what the analogy of this is. That
And a lot of the functional medicine wellness doctors are telling people to stop your statin and they're putting you on red yeast rice. I don't really see why.
no, there's nothing, and we've done studies, and now there's a new. You can read about it if you read my paper called XZK, which is made by the Beijing pharmaceutical company, which is a supplement, and they have published in a good journal that it reduces heart attacks or strokes in the Chinese population, but we haven't been able to duplicate it in the Western countries. So basically, the National Lipid Association official policy is Do not take red yeast rice. If you're on it, stop it. Okay.
Let's do the next one.
Yeah. And then the final supplement that we're going to talk about is Dr. Fiorillo.
Green tea extract.
And we're not talking about green tea. We're talking about green tea extract. And I also wrote a paper on that, the dark side of green tea extract. So green tea has something called ECGC in it. And green tea, people take it for anti-inflammatory properties, relaxant, but ECGC is also an antioxidant, and there probably are anti-cancer properties. Okay. I'm not going to say that they're not. However, they have found in green tea extract, like beyond toxic levels. And I would say out of all these supplements, green tea extract has put more people in the hospital than any of them with liver toxicity.
Yes.
So
I've always wanted that too. Like, why not just drink green tea? You don't think you can get enough of it? If it's a double-edged sword, you're taking too much, it could be toxic. The same thing with garlic. I always said, just take garlic. And people take
Right.
garlic pills. Remember they were selling that? I haven't seen that.
yeah, that garlic. I
Yeah,
think there's a lot of people with that. It's, oh, if you take the garlic, you're not going to smell of garlic. But
Yeah,
they'll go have an Italian dinner and have garlic bread and garlic and
the bottom line, right? Green tea offers potential benefits, and I would say these all offer potential benefits, but they carry risk of hepatotoxicity. And the paper we discussed today proves that. So the bottom line is, we're not trashing all herbs. We're not even trashing herbologists. Some of this Western medicine is great, but you have to know what you're taking, how much to take. There's just not enough data yet. So these need to be studied more.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever will, because who's interested in funding it other than the companies that sell it? This article we're talking about is from the Department of Internal Medicine, University of Michigan, in JAMA, premier journal. Regardless of what people think, there are excellent journals: New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, JAMA. But you just need to check what you're taking and just do it.
Remember the Seinfeld episode when George goes to the herbologist? The guy makes a concoction of all herbs. All of a sudden he's like bright red. He's screaming. They put him in the.
He got flushing. Yeah.
I got to go back and watch that episode, but that just came to mind. Why are you spending money? It's all a hoax. Go to the herbologist. I thought that was such a good episode, but there's definitely a place for this stuff. I think people want to make money. I hate to keep going back to that, but that's why people are doing this. I've been culprit too. I tried turmeric when I had my elbow. I had golfer's elbow, and I was taking so many Advils, and I had to get off. I started taking too much. So I tried turmeric. I took it. I didn't feel like it did anything for me. But yes, can it work in the right dose? Possibly, yes.
And where we live, Mike lives in the greater New York area, and I live in Southern California. The stuff is huge, because a lot of it is that, especially in this study, they were elderly, educated, more educated people. And those are the people who seek this out. In certain parts of America, believe me, people are just happy to take real medicines. They don't have the money to go spend on a bunch of crap supplements. This is certainly big in certain parts of the country.
Yeah. Supplement market is huge, getting huger, and these people are making a lot of money on it. I've talked to a lot of labs. I've seen a lot of labs. Who knows? There's no regulation. No one's coming in. Everyone can hate the government and Big Pharma, but no one's going in there and checking things out. So I'd be careful. Just go on Amazon and type in turmeric, and you'll see 100, maybe more companies come up. How do you
What I say, they quote in this paper, 6,000 or 8,000 different supplements are commercially available.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. All right. So with that,
great talk. Yeah.
So you'll be able to see the article. We're going to post it, and don't forget to like this, and please subscribe to our podcast. We would really appreciate it. And with that, I'm Dr. Richman, and thank you for listening.
And Dr. Fiorillo, a pleasure again, Mike. And until the next one, thank you.
Okay, thank you.